A little stream upgrade on me. On me. 1, 2 on me. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ass Clappius. $4.99. Appreciate you. Hello. Hi, Pat. How you doing?
Good.
What's you got a joke?
Oh, it's
for
10
lads,
o'clock.
The ladies and lads today.
It's 10 o'clock. Whoops.
Folks, welcome to the technical, not technical struggles, but logistical struggles of the complete rebrand of this podcast. But Pat, get us started the right way.
Did you hear about that guy in Russia that got poisoned by dart frog poisoning?
No.
Yeah, he croaked.
Okay. Folks, welcome back to Brand Coverage. I'm Brandon Carney alongside Pat Gustafson. For those of you tuning in with us on the YouTube, you will be astutely noticing that things look a little different around here. Essentially, I got fucking tired of StreamYard. StreamYard served us very well for many, many years. At the end of the day, the versatility of StreamYard is comparable to the versatility of like a JJ McCarthy. It can't really do much all that well.
Bro didn't do anything to deserve that straight today.
Listen, it's functional, but it doesn't add any frills. It has no ceiling, you know, and you should eventually, after a year or two, give up on it, which is what I have done here. I have moved us on over to Streamlabs, which is what I have done all of my solo streams, my NFL draft live streams, my former video game streams I used to do, which I'm probably going to bring back here as the Backyard Sports franchise, you know, starts to rebrand a little bit. New Backyard Baseball game coming out here soon with modern players. I think modern players, but it's a modern game. But yeah, decided to move operations over here. I think things look pretty nice. Now, look, you guys will also notice that Pat and I are remotely located for this episode. Normally, this will not be the case. This screen that is split 50-50, me and Pat, will just be completely occupied by our dumbasses over on our normal couch setup over there. Today, we're not together because the New England area has just been pissed on with snow all winter long, and we got another 16 inches over here in my neck of the woods over the last 2 days. So that's pretty sick.
I feel like 3 is plenty. Anything more than that feels like overkill.
Yeah, so I mean, some would say even 3 is too much. I mean, 3 inches still hurts at 90 miles an hour. So, you know, if you're pumping nice and good, that's plenty. And the snow was pumping.
But for those of you playing along at home, barring more weather, which might happen over next weekend, Bran and I will have one more show centrally in the same place together before they blow my shit clean off.
Blowing his shit smooth off. Pat is getting his back surgery. Pat back will finally be fixed at least a little bit. We hope. So that is that.
Bringing back the beanbags. Me versus the beanbags are coming back.
Yeah, so we'll be remote for a little bit longer. But generally speaking, this setup is, permanent with the graphics and such. We got the little brand coverage logo over yonder. We've got some athletes and characters who are, affiliated with the show here sitting above our heads. We've got Drake May, Bayshul, Tootin, friend of the show, Austin Eckler, fucking Kyle Pitts, who we're going to talk about today and makes me want to die, Fernando Mendoza, Cam Scattaboo, and our Lord and Savior, and we'll soon have a statue outside of Gamble Pavilion, Daniel Hurley, UConn men's basketball.
Pavilion.
Yeah, basically things just look a lot cleaner around here. The little thing box over there shows you everybody who's followed, donated recently, all that stuff pops up. So it's nice. It's a nice little change here that we've got going on. But to get into what the show's actually going to be about today, we got a good amount to cover. Obviously, we were off last week. Today's show is going to be headlined by a free agency preview. So how are we going to tackle that? We are going to do a draft like we did last year. Pat and I are going to go back and forth, basically slotting the top free agents into what we believe are ideal spots for them for fantasy football purposes, real life purposes, little combination of the two. It's going to be very offensive focused, obviously, as a mostly fantasy football podcast, as brand coverage is. So we will not be talking about too many offensive linemen, even though the Patriots desperately need all of them.
Oh, I'm giving one to the Raiders. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Just do it. He's going to score fantasy points somehow, even as an offensive lineman. We're going to do that draft.
So maybe some quarterback predictions as well.
Yes, some quarterback predictions. We've got some teams who their quarterback slots are in flux, and we will give our best guess as to who their starting quarterback will be come week 1 of 2026. Also going to just recap all of the offensive coordinator hires because there are 21 new offensive coordinators, which is... I said it our last show, but it's like this is why fantasy football is just such a hard reset every year where you almost have to throw out the prior year's production entirely because everything changes. Like when you got a guy whose job it is to design and call plays on an offense, and that position changes for 2 motherfucking thirds of the league, you kind of got to, throw things out a little bit. So we'll talk about those hires, do a little rapid fire grading, and then... Yeah, we've got any of the free agents that we don't cover in our draft. We'll also go over them briefly as well. Just talk about the likelihood they stay, likelihood they go somewhere else, all that good stuff. But we've got plenty of news to talk about. First things first, a sad way to kick off the show, but RIP to Rondale Moore. Sad news that we got over the weekend that Rondale Moore has passed away. Just a reminder, check on your friends, check on those you love, those you care about, make sure they're doing all right. Just even a little, hey, how you doing, thinking about you always goes a long way. Pat and I have certainly dealt with various, mental health issues either in our personal lives.
Speak for yourself.
Pat is the mentally healthy. It's almost as healthy as his back. We've all dealt with it in some way, shape, or form, and you never want to see it come to this. So R.I.P. Rondale Moore. Electric player, had so much more to give to the game, so much more to give just in life in general, and you hate to see that. So just wanted to touch on that real quick before we get into everything else. Some other news has obviously come out over the course of the past 2 weeks. Made a couple videos on some of these things. First of all, Pat, the Bears could move to Indiana. So
I was not expecting a Gary, Indiana reference in one of your TikToks. That is a box that I checked off that I was not expecting to ever.
Keeping you on your toes. You never know. You never know what's coming. So the Bears are in pretty much, it seems like it's heavily leading toward the Bears going to Indiana. Now, granted, it's Hammond, Indiana. It's barely over the state line. This is not anything different than what the Jets and Giants do, which is, branding themselves from one state or city and playing in another. It's no different than what the Chiefs do. It's no different than what the Commanders or the Cowboys do. Granted, some of those are, within their same state. The 49ers stadium is further from San Francisco than this stadium is from Chicago by about half an hour. So really not a big deal. It is funny to me when a team plays. I think
it's the new state thing. Throws people.
No, it is strange because it's like you look at the other teams that are doing stuff like this, and it is the Commanders and the Jets and the Giants, right? And so, but I think those are a little easier to logically look at and explain away because it's like New Jersey is essentially just New York's armpit as it is. And
Maryland
Washington
is like the DC metro area.
Right.
Basically.
Like Washington, D.C., for all intents and purposes, is in Maryland, even though it's its own thing.
Maryland, Virginia, yeah.
Like, unless you were going to put the Commander Stadium literally on the White House front lawn, then I don't think you could actually put a stadium in D.C. I'm actually unaware of how big D.C. really is. I don't know, but I would imagine putting a football stadium.
Crime is out of control.
Would be a little difficult. Yeah, the crime of whatever the Commanders put on the field this season.
But it's just that I don't think anyone has ever associated any part of Indiana with like the Chicago suburb metro area. Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone's from that area in the chat, please do correct me. But I have never personally affiliated that with Chicago. But again, Bears fans, if you're in here, let us know if you care. I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. I think the only people that should be bothered by it are Bears fans, because you have to travel further. You're outside of Chicago, the Chicago area, which is sort of more like Chicago's one of the most iconic cities in the country. Yeah. Like, so, but personally, it's like we already do this. They do it in other sports too. So it's just like, who really cares that much?
Yeah, no, it really doesn't matter that much. Kind of is what it is, but it's just very funny that they're going to have 2 NFL teams in the state of Indiana for whatever fucking reason. Noted good guy Rashee Rice is the subject of another lawsuit. Granted,
innocent until proven guilty.
Granted, this is not for a new offense, but it's for. I mean, I guess it's new to us. I mean, we didn't know that this was happening to this degree or for this long. Not that we're surprised by it, but domestic violence alleged by his former girlfriend from December 2023 to July 2025. Fuck Rashee Rice, man. I mean, God, how many times do we have to do that? There are just certain guys that are just bad guys, man. And Rashee Rice is just a bad guy. And what you just said sarcastically is something I did get in a couple of Twitter replies.
Saw that, yeah.
And I'm like, guys, at what point do we say that the innocent until proven guilty? Sure, but like court of public opinion is a little different. And
guys like Rashee Rice do not deserve the benefit of the doubt anymore.
No,
let's be honest. If this was the first thing we ever heard about Rashee Rice doing anything bad, sure, innocent until proven guilty. But we don't need to give this man the benefit of the doubt anymore.
And people swear that like, she's just trying to get a bag, she's trying to extort because he's an NFL. I'm like, do we understand that this is like the 3rd major allegation or offense of some kind against the same guy, and there are 1,500 plus NFL players on an active roster during the season, and you don't hear this about the vast majority of them? Like, yes, there are guys
unless they're on the Patriots, yeah.
All right, well, there are other guys who do bad stuff, obviously, but when you have a constant repeat offender that is getting accused and alleged things against them all the fucking time, how can you honestly take your phone and take your fingers and type out a message that says, I think she's just lying? Shut the fuck up. Rashee Rice has earned the anti-benefit of the doubt. The benefit of the belief in this case is what Rashee Rice has earned. Fuck him. Get him out of the league. I'm tired of talking about all the bad shit he does because it's one thing every offseason at this point, and I'm tired of it. So fuck him. We will keep an eye on any possible repercussions of this. There will probably be none because this is the NFL after all. But yeah, just wanted to mention that. Now, into some little transactional things, and this is another benefit of the stream upgrade. Now, Pat won't even necessarily be able to hear this, but we are going to hit this because it is transactional related, it's money related, and yeah, baby.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of effects like that cooked up yet, but there are going to be more. And I'm sure it always looks very funny from Pat's end because I'm just sitting there doing this and he can't even hear anything. But it doesn't matter. Cowboys have re-signed Javonte Williams. So one of the free agent dominoes has fallen here. The Cowboys are bringing back Javonte. Pat, my first thought as a fantasy football addict in the month of February, seeing Javonte Williams be back with the Cowboys, is this feels like just one of the safest picks you could make next year. I don't know where his value is going to fall. I mean, I believe he kind of tailed off toward the end of the year. He started really, really hot, but I want to say he still finished as an RB1 this past season. And now that he's going back to the team that he kind of, had this bounce back with, we know the talent's been there in the past. He just was dealing through injuries with the Broncos and all that. I mean, I loved him in his Bronco days, and he just kept getting hurt. I feel like, he's on one of the few teams that didn't have a whole lot of turnover on the offensive side. No new coordinator,
really?
Despite that being the case for every other team, seemingly. The only real thing that would make you hesitate on Javonte Williams would be, I guess, of course, if they add anybody new to the backfield, but that seems unlikely given the money they are dedicating to him. It would be just any kind of growth from Jaden Blue, a guy who we already expected more from last year, and I think, started to flash a little week 17, 18. But other than that, Javonte Williams kind of feels like a guy that, he may not win you your league, but if you take him in, I mean, my brain wants to say, the second round, you're not going to be upset about that, I wouldn't think, right?
Well, that's the thing, is that I think our expectations for him were so low going into last year just because we hadn't seen a whole lot from him as a player. We didn't know if Jaden Blue would be involved. We didn't know if fucking Miles Sanders would be involved. And we always talked about the best case scenario, which was that, hey, this guy's the lead back in a good offense. And that's exactly what happened. And Brian Schottenheimer and company clearly showed they believe in him. And last year, giving him all these carries and then re-signing him, my first thought was just, good. Hey, good for him. Good for him, after kind of almost becoming an afterthought to the point where people were so apprehensive about him last year. And he had such a good year that he absolutely warranted this. And with other good running back talent available, the Cowboys said, no, this is our guy. And even though they weren't the best real-life football team last year, they were still an extremely productive fantasy football offense. And I see no like you said, with Brian Schottenheimer and Clayton Adams coming back, I see no reason why that won't be the same thing in 2026.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the way too early and borderline irrelevant 2026 fantasy football rankings just to see where he falls. Let's see, Javonte. So it's always so funny to see the rookies in here already. Jeremiah Love, 18th overall, ranked.
Correct. I don't care where he goes, but yep.
Javonte Williams. Oh my, where, brother? Okay, 50th overall right now.
So that's early fifth.
Early fifth, yeah.
That's a great value, I think.
I mean, that's late. I can't imagine if the Cowboys don't add anybody notable to the backfield that will persist. I can't imagine it would. I mean, maybe not second round, but I would think at the very least third. Granted, I mean, maybe this is just coming from you and I in our horny for running backs league, where any starting running back on a good offense should be gone in the first two rounds. I mean, you can tell by your shirt.
Been a while.
Our shirts together are kind of like UConn suck.
I suck UConn. If we
suck.
switched it the other way, it would be correct after that Creighton game.
It's a miracle UConn only fell to 6th overall in the AP poll. I was kind of shocked, honestly. Only fell.
Yeah, they were huge game Wednesday. I saw someone in chat said they were going to there. Are you going on Wednesday?
I can't leave my house. There's too much snow.
Wednesday's tomorrow. Also.
Wednesday is tomorrow. For
those of you playing along at home, Wednesday is in fact tomorrow.
Wednesday is
I've just learned
tomorrow. Breaking news into the show. I don't have the breaking news button anymore. I need to add it. But
breaking news.
Again, slowly but surely, folks. I don't know if people watching understand what a full migration to a different platform really entails. It's a lot of fucking work. But we'll get it all sorted out.
More than even I thought.
We'll get it sorted out by next season. Cowboys re-signing Javonte Williams. Again, just feels like one of the sort of safest picks you can make for fantasy football next year. Still love the talent, still love the offense. Now, sticking in that division, we got a little bit of news, a little quote out of today. The Eagles, this was Nick Sirianni, Pat, because I didn't even see this quote, but Nick Sirianni says that he can't guarantee that A.J. Brown will be back. Now, you can look at this two ways. One, duh. I mean, you can look at it as Kyle Shanahan's "we don't know if anybody's going to even be alive tomorrow" kind of quote.
Electric.
But you could also look at it in the context of, there have been trade rumors swirling around A.J. Brown for a long time. Sure. There's a recent quote from the other day that Saquon saying that A.J. Brown's been a Patriots fan forever, which we knew that already, but the fact that it was resurfacing again has certainly sparked rumors in a time of quietness of the NFL offseason, as we're just in the immediate post-NFL season. Free agency hasn't started yet. The draft's not really all that close yet. So this kind of stuff is taking off even more than it normally would. Pat, do you expect A.J. Brown back with the Eagles next year?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No.
Where's he going?
Now let's just think about it. A team in dire need of a wide receiver, lots of cap space, and a young quarterback who could really benefit from his addition.
Keep going. I'm close.
The Raiders. The funny
Well,
thing
you don't have a young quarterback though. That's where you're wrong.
Yeah. But the thing is like genuinely, I think that would be a good fit there. Brock Bowers is good enough to be an alpha, but they need an alpha wide receiver. The only guys on this roster right now, I believe, are like Trey Tucker and Jack Besh. I actually don't even know who else is on their depth chart right now.
I was looking at it the other day. It was really bad. Dante Thornton, I think.
Yeah, Dante Thornton, maybe Tyler Lockett. Philip Dorsett was on this team last year.
I didn't know Philip Dorsett was still alive, to be perfectly honest with you.
Like, holy fuck. But genuinely, but outside of the Raiders, I know you're going to talk about the Patriots, and I think that's fair. I'll point to the fact that outside of literally Randy Moss, and a true alpha wide receiver has just never been a focal point of a Josh McDaniels offense. And again, I do think that they're flexible enough that it could work, but I just don't feel like that's going to be their priority going forward, is to bring in someone like A.J. Brown and give up capital for that.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously depends on what the Eagles would be looking for him. I think, if it's a deal where the only the biggest asset going the other way is our first-round pick, which is the 31st overall pick, I mean, I would be more than happy to take that deal for A.J. Brown just to get that true alpha receiver. And yeah, I mean, what you say about McDaniels is true, but like also so many things are just relating to the personnel that you've been lucky enough to have. Like the Patriots have not had a alpha wide receiver on their roster in so long that
that's what I mean, because they don't prioritize it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but kind of chicken or egg kind of thing. I mean, are they like, because McDaniels can call an offense so well without one that they aren't going to get one? I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I think that they're just like, the right opportunity hasn't shown itself for them to acquire a top receiver. I mean, they've tried to draft him. They wanted N'Keal Harry to be that fucking guy, and N'Keal Harry was just the worst receiver you've ever seen in your life. So, different. Actually, did N'Keal Harry even cross over with McDaniels? Either way, the Patriots tried to get him.
Some news here.
Some news.
Las Vegas GM John Spytek tells reporters at the scouting combine that he expects Maxx Crosby to be with the Raiders this season. I don't believe they should do that. I mean, again, this guy's my favorite player in the league right now. One of my favorites ever. They could just maximize on his value right now. He's not going to meet their window. But I mean, if he stays, I'm thrilled. I love the guy. I bought a jersey of his last year, and my jersey luck is just dastardly for the Raiders. I have 4 Raiders jerseys, and only one of them's on the team right now. That's also interesting in terms of trades. But yeah, I mean, outside, I'm trying to think to not be so biased. Outside of our 2 teams, a good landing spot for A.J. Brown. Obviously, there's Buffalo.
Yep.
But I think, like, in terms of, like, ideal, taking out, like, reality of what's actually going to happen, putting him with Josh Allen, which is basically still a better version than what they had from Stephon Diggs, which worked really well there. I still think A.J. Brown right now is better than Diggs was when he was there. That's a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do expect the Bills to get some level of wide receiver. I don't know if it's going to be an A.J. Brown, if it's going to be
De'Ami Brown,
De'Ami Brown, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill. There's a lot of guys available, and I think their dumbasses have realized that, they should probably actually have an alpha weapon when you have a incredible quarterback like Josh Allen, and you don't want to, waste his entire career. Instead of being cocky like they have been in the past and say, well, we don't need a good receiver. Our offense scores a lot of points. Shut the fuck up. It is never a bad thing to have good receivers on your team. Fun fact. Take that one, put that one in your pipe and smoke it. Breaking news off the Brand Coverage Podcast. Having good receivers is good. So Nick Sirianni can't guarantee A.J. Brown will be back. Kyle Shanahan can't guarantee we'll be alive tomorrow. George Pickens can't guarantee he's not going to burn the building down because he is going to be franchise tagged by the Cowboys. This is expected to come next week. Franchise tags, I believe, have technically been able to be flying already. Like the last couple, this has already been a thing that they could be handed out. They just haven't been applied to players. I don't know why teams are lagging in doing this, but they are. George Pickens is going to be tagged. And what happens after that? I mean, I've seen all sorts of possibilities floated. The Cowboys, it seems like, are rightfully a little hesitant to pay George Pickens long-term a lot of money when they are already paying Dak Prescott $60 million. They're paying CeeDee Lamb $34 million. And you're kind of backing yourself into a Bengals-esque team structure, which, you know, they did what they did with Burrow, Jamar, and T. Higgins, and keeping those guys around is great, but we have seen how that can handcuff you a little bit in building out the rest of your roster, and you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? George Pickens is awesome. The idea of a tag and trade has been floated out there, so maybe that could be something that transpires. I feel like we haven't seen that happen in a long time, but maybe this is the offseason that a big-name player does get tagged and traded. But, yeah, I mean, look, thinking just about Pickens and the Cowboys, like, I think George Pickens, I would like to see him go somewhere where he can be the guy. Because, I mean, we saw him be the guy in Dallas for stretches this year with CeeDee Lamb hurt, and it was fucking awesome. And I say
awesome.
I say this not just as a George Pickens drafter this past season, but, like, this is a guy who, you know, the most optimistic George Pickens stan, GP Glazer, our former chat resident, the most optimistic people who have ever followed Pickens' career, you were right about what he could be. He was
genuinely.
He
GP
was that
Glazer
guy.
was ahead of the game.
Like there was no, you know, oh yeah, the Steelers aren't using him right, but maybe he's just not capable of that kind of. No, he was capable. He was very much capable. He showed the type of skill after the catch that I think only a few receivers in the NFL have. He showed aptitude running a lot more routes than just the fuck it Pickens down there somewhere route that the Steelers decided to run when they had just the absolute garbage they had at the quarterback position. So it was an awesome situation for him. But yeah, I would like to see him go somewhere where he can do that all year, because when CeeDee Lamb was healthy, it was a lower level of production. I mean, granted, they kind of alternated. I would go as far as to say it was almost more of a 1A, 1B with him and CeeDee Lamb than it was CeeDee being the 1 and Pickens being the 2. But, like, when Lamb is healthy, you know, I do want to see Pickens be somewhere that he can be the 1. So I don't know where that would be. Obviously, we're going to keep kind of bringing up the same teams here that need receivers. Obviously, my team being one of them, the Patriots.
My team being another.
I would murder people to have him as in a Patriots uniform. As would Bills fans, as would Raiders fans, as would Ravens fans. A lot of
Titans fans, Bills fans.
Titans is an interesting one because they're just such untapped potential with Cam Ward and that whole thing. Because it's
what I'm saying is if Brian Dable can bring a lot out of Cam Ward with a guy like George Pickens, or with reunion with AJ Brown would be hysterical. But you know, with a guy like George Pickens, it could work. I mean, these two are basically going to dictate a lot of the wide receiver market, because there are some solid wide receivers. I don't think there's a ton of wide receivers that are going to be like massive needle movers like Brown and Pickens. So if these two do become available, I think we've got, you know, it's really going to shake things up, as we'll talk about with these other wide receivers.
Yeah. We've got another player expected to be franchise tagged, and if you told me this was going to be the case 2 years ago, I would have thrown up everyone. Just
shitted and farted and came.
Shitted, farted, came in the worst way possible. Kyle motherfucking Pitts is expected to be franchise tagged by the Atlanta Falcons. Pat, I've lost the plot so much with Kyle Pitts that I don't even know why I'm mad about this. I just know I am.
I was going to say, like, the guy, like, you know, take away big games out. The guy had a decent year last year. Yeah, you can't ignore that fact. But you also can't ignore the fact of just how frustrating he was for as long as he was. And it's funny now, every time something changes there, whether it became Arthur Smith going away and then bringing in, you know, Zach Robinson as the OC, then bringing in Michael Penix, we're going to have to do that again. Because we've seen tight ends thrive in the wasteland that has been the Cleveland Browns under Kevin Stefanski. We've seen talented guys like David Njoku and Harold Fannin really excel there. So I hate to say it again, but there is a chance that Kyle Pitts could be extremely productive. Is he going to be like a top 5 tight end in the league? I would probably say no.
No.
But a startable guy on a week-to-week basis, sure.
Well, and that's where I'm like not saying it's the wrong move for the Falcons. It's just where it feels like an icky move, kind of, from my point of view. I mean, I'm the biggest Kyle Pitts hater on the planet, so maybe that's why. But like, when you look at what the franchise tag is, right? It's you average out the top 5 salaries at the position, and that's what the number turns into for a 1-year sort of Band-Aid contract for the guy while you figure out what you want to do after that. Averaging out the top 5 salaries at the position, and yet Kyle Pitts is not a top 5 player at the position. It's like, why did he earn that? But then you look at how much money it actually is. It's only $15 million, and for a guy that gives you receiver level production, I mean, he is a receiver essentially. It makes sense. It's like, it's not, we're really splitting hairs here between a couple of $1 million, for that averaging the top 5 salaries thing versus like a contract I would be comfortable giving him. I would say if Kyle Pitts was getting $11-12 million a year, I'd be like, all right, I get it. Like, he's been good enough. He finally put together a decent year, even if it was weighted heavily by 1 or 2 weeks. But it's just the idea that it is that top 5 salaries, averaged together. Just kind of makes it feel gross. Because, yeah, he's not a top 5 tight end in the league. I got the list up right here. I mean, Brock Bowers and Trey McBride, undeniably above him. And then
level on their own, sure.
Guys I would take above him when healthy: Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren, Sam Laporta. I would even go as far as to say Colston Loveland, Harold Fannin.
You are forgetting George Kittle.
I am. He's low down the list because he popped his shit.
He is injured, but when healthy,
yes, when healthy, yes. And it does sound like he's actually recovering fairly well and could be back this year. So could be a faster recovery than expected for George Kittle. But yeah, there's a lot of tight ends I'd rather have than Kyle Pitts. And that's not just from a bitterness, reason. So yeah, he's getting franchise tagged. Financially, it's not the worst decision. Just doesn't feel the best, but it is what it is. Pat, since we last spoke, the Dolphins released Tyreek Hill. This move we kind of expected.
known good guy.
Also known good guy, Tyreek Hill, possibly joining up with known good guy, Rashee Rice. We'll see. But the Dolphins released Tyreek Hill, kind of fully resetting their team. Obviously, new coaching staff, new everything this offseason. They're going to have a new quarterback, even if they don't have one yet. And yeah, this is kind of, little sad, it brings a tear to your eye. The end of an era here for Miami, with the Tua just being an accurate bomb thrower to Tyreek while he runs naked down the sideline, and then he does it to Jalen Waddle, and then they do it to Nick Westbrook-Akina sometimes, and Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert.
I'll tell you, even though like his absolute peak was in Kansas City, those are some of those first years in Miami, man. Tyreek was unbelievable. Tua that was the only thing Tua knew how to do well besides check the ball down, was just send it. And somehow Tyreek's got 7 yards on his defender, and he's just wide open. And owning him a couple of those years, you just knew it was coming at some point. The guy was just money. It'll be interesting. Obviously, Kansas City's going to be the biggest name tied to him. I think we should not allow that to be allowed in our draft unless we're putting him somewhere else.
Yeah,
other than Kansas City. But Andy Reid has been kind of mum about it and being like, oh, I don't know. I know no more than you do about it. And it's like, he's probably telling the truth right now. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Eric Bieniemy's back. The whole band's getting back together. It seems inevitable.
Yeah, and I mean, Pat, I would even say, like, his peak was in Miami, at least statistical peak. Like, back-to-back seasons of 170 catches and 1,700 yards. Those are numbers he didn't even remotely approach in Kansas City. The only thing he did better in Kansas City was he had 15 touchdowns in 2020, which is his career high.
Played with Patrick Mahomes.
But yeah, I mean,
Mahomes.
The fact he was able to put up those numbers with Tua, granted, for whatever reason, it seems like that was just because the NFL didn't realize, hey, we could have 2 deep safeties. And then they did that, and then the Dolphins had to blow up their whole team. So, it is what it is. Last man standing, Devon Achane. I mean, I guess Jalen Waddle as well. But, yeah, very curious to see what the Dolphins
Durham Smythe,
Sands, Tyreek. Yes, Durham Smythe, of course.
He might be a free agent, too.
I mean, yeah, probably. The Patriots have released Antonio Gibson. Thank you for your service, Mr. Gibson. didn't end the way that I wanted it to. You were good while you were here, and then you tore your ACL in the middle of the season, and that was that. But your services are appreciated.
I think this is just really good for Travion Henderson in the sense now that there is no cuck chair guy sitting waiting to get in the action like Antonio Gibson was. Rhamondre will still be there, but it's going to be Travion and Rhamondre. It's not going to be Rhamondre, some Travion, some Antonio Gibson. He still may not have the role that we necessarily want him to from a fantasy perspective, but certainly getting Gibson out of there is going to be a good thing.
I'll tell you what, that is going to be a fascinating one to follow throughout the fantasy preseason is the Rhamondre versus Travion situation, because I do think I'm pretty sure Travion is ranked higher than Rhamondre is
I
right
believe
now.
he should be.
Let me look at just exactly this, again, way too early rankings, Fantasy Pros, whatever. Running backs. Travion Henderson, RB21. Rhamondre Stevenson, RB28. So, yeah, got a little bit of separation there.
And
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's interesting now, too, because we can't just look at this like the Patriots aren't a good offense like they were a few years ago. Like, this team made the fucking Super Bowl. Like, Drake May was the
Camera died, by
MVP
the way.
runner-up.
Fixing my camera momentarily.
I was going to say, you're frozen. You look good, at least.
Well, that's the one thing about Streamlabs. Until I just did that, where I made the camera go black, it was
The Pat Show.
It'll just freeze on my face until I get a new battery. But yeah,
Can we talk about the over/under on what pain meds Pat will get during his surgery? Now, like, what do you mean over/under on the number of pills? Like, what are we talking here? Tyler Rowland 6332.
Over/under on dosage, or like what is the vibe here? I agree.
Dosage, like how many I take if I literally die. What are we talking here? Because, bro, like, I would do dastardly things for one perk 30 right now. It's been like 4 months since I've had one. And I can't fucking wait. I can't wait to just be off my ass.
I mean,
Okay.
Good luck. Don't blow any homeless guys for perk 30s would be my
Too late. All right. Patriots
Well,
released
all
Antonio
right.
Gibson, and it says this guy retired, but I mainly think that the NFL and the Chargers have released Bradley Bozeman, who was notoriously bad this year, as was that Chargers offensive line, especially in the playoffs. That the picture of all the PFT. The PFF, excuse me, the PFF grades, and Bozeman just being the worst. A literal subway turnstile up the middle. Guy had how long did he play? He must have had a decently long career. No, he played for 8 years. So, guy carved out a decent career, made his money, and went out sad. Sorry, Bradley. He's back.
Hello, I am back. Yeah, look, when you have a name like Bradley, you kind of get what's coming to you. And his early retirement, because the Chargers O-line was stinky poo-poo butt potty, is just kind of part of that. Let's see, moving on here. Okay, more off-season news. Pat, there's been no discussion to ban the tush push, which makes me chuckle.
Because they stink at it now.
Because it fully emphasizes how disingenuous the argument was to ban it in the first place.
100%.
We knew this. We talked about this as it was happening. This was not a safety issue. It wasn't anything else other than teams being mad that the Eagles were too good at it. And now that they're not good at it, it's not a fucking issue. Imagine that. Instead, Sean McVay is pushing hard to change the rule relating to the Seahawks 2-point conversion that they had and beat them with. So if we've learned nothing else, it is that any rule change proposals are just out of petty sadness because a team lost.
What is he even trying to argue? That if like a backward pass hits someone, it's dead?
That maybe I think
If
they're
it hit
trying
an
to get
offensive player, if like say Charbonnet caught it and dropped it, the ball's live. So why wouldn't it be live if it hits? It's a
think they're
fumble.
trying-
It's not a
I
backward
agree.
pass. It's a fumble.
No, there's no good reason for it. I think they're trying to get it to where inside a certain yard line or maybe during a 2-point conversion that you can't advance a fumble, that might be what they're going for. But like, there's no good reason for that other than you're mad you got beat by it, and you're
unless
mad
they're
that your
doing
team
like the
wasn't
fumble
aware.
Rooski and doing it on purpose.
No, it's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah.
So fuck you. And more NFL, just general news here. The NFL has won a grievance against the NFLPA, and it will stop the report cards.
Ridiculous, man.
More just buffoonery from the league here because they are mad that they get exposed for being shitty. Shocker, Pat. This charge was led by none other than noted great owner in the NFL, noted never done anything wrong and universally beloved Woody Johnson. So if that doesn't tell you why he was pushing to get this banned, he is tired of people realizing that the Jets are shitty in even more ways than what they put on the field. So hey, I think this is whack as fuck. At the end of the day, it's not going to change anything.
Fucking Charmin soft.
I mean, it's really not going to change anything, is it? Because all the teams that had bad report cards were the teams that you would have assumed had bad report cards.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's not really going to change anything based, like, as far as our perception of
Cincinnati Bengals.
It's just going to prevent us from piling on because, instead of just having a vague idea, or instead of knowing specifically what's going on because they're like charging guys for their Uncrustables or whatever the fuck they're doing, we just have to keep with the vague idea of they're shitty.
Like in Moneyball when David Justice had to pay $1 for a can of Pepsi.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. It's great that Woody Johnson's both of his names are slang for penis.
His name is just penis.
Him and Peter O'Toole are in the S tier of slang penis names.
If they had Michael Penix Jr. on their team, they would just be penis Jr. All right. To wrap up the offensive coordinator hires, Pat, because we finally got the rest of the slots filled. Again, 21 new offensive coordinator. What's 9 plus 10? 21. The Rams have promoted Nate Scheelhaas. All right. The Rams have promoted Nate Scheelhaas to offensive coordinator. Obviously, his name was in the mix for a lot of head coaching jobs, but it seems like he is instead going to go one rung up the ladder before going up several. So he's going to be their OC. Robert Woods also, fun fact, retired and joined the Rams staff. So just wanted to mention that. Shout out Bobby Trees calling it a day and just going the coaching ranks instead. The Seahawks promoted Brian Fleury to their offensive coordinator job, and the Raiders have hired Andrew Janocko as their offensive coordinator. So, whoa, hey, how did that happen?
Did you do that?
I didn't do shit. Wait, what the fuck? How are you doing that? I can't.
Do your thumbs.
Oh, thumbs. Sorry, folks, we're getting confetti and fireworks here. How the fuck are you doing that? And I can't do it.
Let's see it. No.
Imagine it just plays like the old school like Call of Duty edit when you flip me off. It's like boo 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 boo. Fuck you, mom. Get the camera. Sorry guys, for anybody listening at home, you might be real confused. Pat just had fireworks go behind his head when he did a thumbs up, and I was trying to replicate it and it didn't work. So gonna have to get through. I don't know if that's our FBI agent watching us and adding some frills to the show, or if we have a ghost producer. But whoever it is, keep it up. Okay, offensive coordinators. Pat, we're going to go through all 21 really quick. Just really quick. Rapid fire grades. Titans, Brian Daboll.
A-.
B. Chargers, Mike McDaniel.
A-.
A+, and gives me a boner. Chiefs, Eric Bieniemy.
B+.
I'll stick with you on the B+. Lions, Drew Petzing.
B. I've grown on that a little bit.
C+. Dolphins, Bobby Slowick.
C.
C, senor. Commanders, David Blomi.
B+. I like his potential.
I'll go the B+ route as well. I like the young former quarterback route. I feel like that tends to bear fruit more often than not. Falcons, Tommy Rees.
Honestly, I don't care that much about the ones where the
Yeah,
head coach is effectively the offensive coordinator. I'm probably going to give most of those a C.
I'll just go. I'll go B just because like Yeah, as long as you're keeping with the guy that was already with the head coach,
I see
which
no
they
reason
did in
not
this case, it's like I already like Stefanski. I'm gonna like Stefanski bringing his underling. Bucks, Zach Robinson,
D plus.
D plus. I was thinking it before you said it. Ravens, Declan Doyle.
A. Love it.
I'll go A minus. A little more hesitation,
And he's gonna have
but I'll go A minus.
the fact that he's gonna have his chance. That guy's a future head coach. Absolutely.
Bills, Pete Carmichael.
Again, similarly, kind of don't really care. C plus.
I'll go C. Eagles, Sean Mannion.
I'm real worried about this one. I'm gonna go C minus.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm a little optimistic about it. I'm gonna go with a B, flat B on this one. I think Sean Mannion's a guy. Again, I like that they didn't go in house. I like that they went with a guy who's an up and comer. I like that they went with a former quarterback, and it's just
Sirianni's last chance, man.
It is. I mean, they have to nail this hire. I think they know that. It doesn't mean they're going to, but I think they went outside the box enough with this one that I like it rather than just, hey, who's the fucking guy in catering over there that, has Eagles gear already so we don't have to pay for new stuff, and they promote him instead, which is what they did with Patullo. So I actually like it. The Browns, Travis Switzer.
C plus. Again, don't really. It's Todd Monken's team.
Yeah, I'll go C, just flat. Broncos, Davis Webb.
A plus. For them and for him. He will be a head coach in 2027, no question.
I will go with A on that one. Giants, Matt Nagy.
F.
Wait, I want to play this. I don't even.
I truly hope. Oh, go ahead.
I just pressed the boing.
Oh,
I don't know why. I wanted to play the fart noise, but I don't have the fart noise yet.
I truly hope he doesn't stifle what we saw from Jackson Dart with Brian Dable and Mike Kafka. I truly hope we don't see that be stifled.
Hold on. There we go. I found the fart.
I'm going to go D minus because I don't think he's the worst. So I will give him a little benefit. I think he has a better chance to do well than some other coordinators do. D. I'm moving it up a little.
Oh, you like the D, huh? No, I'm with you. I think he's going to be able to not totally tank what the Giants are doing, but I don't think he's going to add anything either. I'm going to go with a D minus there. How about this one, Pat? I mean, fucking drum roll, please. The Jets, Frank Reich.
This is why I bumped up Nagy to a D.
That's fair.
Because the F in Frank Reich stands for F.
Yes, and the Reich stands for, we know what it stands for. More Hitler reference. This one's bad. I mean, again, the Jets are just speed running, getting everyone fired. What week does it happen next year? What week?
That he gets fired?
I won't even say Reich because they might have to hold on to him to replace Glenn. When does Glenn get fired?
Week 9.
I'm gonna go 7. Okay. He gets nice and early. He gets fired because they're just sick of it. Cardinals, Nathaniel Hackett.
F. Worse
Okay.
than Frank Reich. I'll say it.
Really?
Worse than Frank Reich. Well, but the thing is,
doesn't matter as much because
it's Mike LaFleur's offense. So I'll go D minus then because you're
I'm still gonna go F just because it's like why not bring someone that kind of knows what they're doing.
Nate Shieldhouse with you?
It's true.
But again, the fact that Mike LaFleur is there softens the blow. So okay.
Steelers, Brian Angelichio.
C. Again, it's Mike McCarthy's calling plays. Guy's a veteran coach. He seems like more of just like an assistant than a coordinator. So I really don't care.
I'll piggyback your C. Bears, Press Taylor.
I'll actually go B for this one, mainly because I think it will launch Press Taylor's own career.
I'll go with a D just because I remember him being the scapegoat of the Jaguars when they were ass and they were like, man, Press Taylor can't call plays for shit, but he's not going to do that in Chicago, so it's fine, hopefully. But yeah, I don't think he's a plus asset, but I guess we'll see. Seahawks, Brian Fleury.
B plus. I mean, I think this was the best they could have done. Was bringing in either Janako or Fleury here, one of Kubiak's right hand mans, to try to keep up what they've built. Going to have similar personnel, so I'm not as scared. We talked about kind of being worried about JSN, and being a tippity top pick. This has done enough to at least ease most of my concerns there.
Yeah, again, I'm always a little hesitant when teams stay in house, but I like Brian Fleury's background enough that I'm okay with it. I mean, he comes
I think in this case,
from the Niners coaching tree. He was there for 6 years. We know guys tend to do pretty well off that system. So I'll give him benefit of the doubt.
in this case,
for them.
you've got something good. You want to keep it as similar as possible, in my opinion. That's what you do there.
That's fair. Raiders, Andrew Janojo.
Again, similar to Press Taylor, like B plus. It's not his team. It's not his offense, but again, maybe if they turn it around really quick, like we've seen some other teams, maybe he'll be a hot name in a few years from now.
I'll fire a B- at him. And then finally the Rams, Nate Scheelhaas.
A plus, just because this is going. Nate Scheelhaas is, I would say honestly, like him, Davis Webb, and Grant Udinski are the most certain future head coaches next year.
Yeah, I'll give that one an A-, just because I think we still don't know a ton about him. He's just kind of a name that popped up.
All I know is that the
6
Browns
weeks
should
ago.
have hired him.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment. All right, that does it for our offensive coordinator recap here. Now, just real quick, I figured it was worth mentioning, Pat, I always preach every year that the safest fantasy picks are the guys who had the least change around them. Now, we've talked plenty about how much has changed, 21 new offensive coordinators, which at least has to inject some level of, if it's not doubt, maybe speculation, hesitation surrounding any guys who are dealing with a new OC. There are a select few fantasy assets who are not dealing with that, and I think that makes them awful desirable for next year if they produced with the current system that they have, and that system has not changed. So the teams that did not change offensive coordinators, just for reference, keep tabs on this: the Patriots, Bengals, Texans, kind of surprising, Colts, Jaguars, Cowboys, Packers, Vikings, Saints, and 49ers. Thus,
And interestingly, 7 of those teams kept their whole staff.
yeah,
The Packers and the 49ers both lost their defensive coordinators. But in terms of continuity, not only offensively, just everything. Those are the only 7 staffs that completely remain the same.
yeah. Thus, the fantasy assets, who I would say are some of the safest picks for next year. Now, granted, just because these teams kept their OCs does not mean they're not going to undergo offensive line changes or other changes surrounding them. But to me, these guys feel really safe for next year. Looking at the Patriots, I feel like Drake May is a very safe quarterback for next year. Obviously, excelling with Josh McDaniels. There's no other Patriots offensive players that I'm willing to say are super safe just because they weren't super safe to begin with. But Drake May does feel like a solid-ass quarterback pick next year. The entire Bengals offense, against their own will, refused to change anything, but that means that offense is going to continue to cook. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown.
And Zach Taylor's seat is hot as hell, so you know that team is striving to perform this year.
Yes, very
And
hot.
whether they actually perform or not, the offense is still a gold mine.
Yes. The Houston Texans, I mean, Nico Collins, I guess, is always going to feel relatively good. He was up and down this past year. I would
Hurt
like
a
to
little
think
bit.
they get him back to a bit more baseline production, but he's really the only one I would say I feel good about right now.
Well, also, I guess just something to sort of talk about. Is Tank Dell a thing?
He'll be back next year.
That's what I mean. Like, that could be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to
Yeah,
get
here you
Tank
go.
back in the
January
field.
29th. He plans to return. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what version of Tank Dell we get. I hope he can find himself back on the productive side of things. The
Love that
Indianapolis
guy.
Colts, obviously Jonathan Taylor. I think we expect Alec Pierce to probably have a new home. If not, I would feel pretty good about him as like a wide receiver 2 level guy, assuming that their quarterback situation is either Daniel Jones or a decent stopgap.
Pittman had a nice year as well.
Yeah, but he wasn't a fun fantasy asset. He wasn't a
He
guy
never
that you were
is.
like
He never is.
But like he wasn't even the one that was getting you like gross production. He was one that was like he would disappear at times. So I wouldn't
he
be
helped.
excited about him. I guess
he was the foundation. He was the foundation of our vampire team for the first few weeks. Shockingly,
true.
went undrafted in a 9-team league, and he was the foundation.
I think that tells you about everything you need to know. The Dallas Cowboys. I think a healthy CD Lamb might be one of the more underrated assets heading in next year. Not that he's not going to be a first-round pick, but, this was a guy that, like, this prior season, he was pretty consensus, a top 5 guy. Early ranks for next year have him, I guess this is standard. Let me go to fucking at least PPR, half PPR. Okay, no, they still got him at 6, so I guess he's not really underrated. But just I would be very comfortable taking him there because nothing has changed around him, and he's very good, and he has a good quarterback, and he's got an offense he's excelled in, so all that good stuff, especially if Pickens leaves. And then we've already talked about Javonte Williams. Dak Prescott still feels like a decent pick as well. Green Bay Packers. There's rumors they might cut Josh Jacobs, so that would be, if they did that, we'd have to revisit. But yes, as of right now, Josh Jacobs for
Wilson,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft, if he's healthy. Love
Yep,
Tucker Kraft in that spot.
I would say I'm not currently interested in any of their wide receivers, but that could change. Minnesota Vikings, I mean, they need a quarterback, so they're not really even worth talking about right now. Nothing safe about
until
that,
they have a
sake of this
quarterback that's
conversation.
not J.J. McCarthy. I don't feel good talking about Justin Jefferson.
New Orleans Saints, Chris Olave, I mean, daddy.
I fucking love Chris Olave this year.
Ranked 16th overall in early ranks, so he's getting his respect, but I think that's worth it.
He was a Pat's pal the first year we did it, and then I drafted him this year, and he was fantastic. Yep. And it'll be really, perhaps one of us will maybe assign them a running back in our little draft here.
I do have a running back to the Saints. We will see if we have the same one.
Jamal Williams.
And then the San Francisco 49ers, I mean, again, if you want to keep playing chicken with Christian McCaffrey's touch total and just age, you certainly can. I think I'm at a point where I'm just, it's too late for me. I can't do it. If I haven't done it by now, I'm just not gonna. But he is certainly in a situation where he'll probably excel again. And looking at their receivers, I mean, Juwan Jennings is probably gone. Brandon Ayuk is certainly gone. So I think depending who they bring in, I mean, Pat, I'm willing to take another shot on Ricky P because if he could just avoid the fucking injury bug, he's pretty much the last man standing on an offense that is always good. So I'm definitely interested.
We'll see where they wind up and stuff.
Yeah. So next we have our draft segment. This is our fantasy free agent preview. Hold on, let me see if do I have my draft.
We'll omit quarterbacks, correct? Because we're going to assign every team a quarterback. So we're going to do this running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and then if we would really like to do lineman or a defender. But again, we are a mostly fantasy football podcast.
Yes, correct. I did have one quarterback slot, but I will just avoid that pick because I don't need to go over it. So yeah, the way this is going to work, again, Pat and I are going to go back and forth drafting what we believe are just ideal landing spots for some of the top offensive, maybe not just offensive free agents in this upcoming class. Once somebody selects a player, the other person cannot select that player going to a different location. It's just a fun little exercise to do here to kind of speculate on where these guys could go, where would be good fits for these guys, especially from a fantasy perspective. Pat, I will allow you to do the honor of taking the first pick here and assigning our first free agent to their ideal landing spot.
Well, speaking of the franchise tag, Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker will not be franchise tagged, apparently. And I believe he's going to go be a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Okay.
Travis Etienne being a free agent. Our boy Toot Toot, who knows what he's ever going to be. But he just seems like that would be a place where they would go and run him into the ground, which is apparently what needs to happen to him, as we saw all through the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot. I thought about that as well. Whether they franchise Walker or not, I feel like Seattle is going to keep him. Now, for the sake of this exercise, I did have Kenneth Walker assigned to a different team. I actually had him going. I had him going to the Commanders. Looking at that offense, I was just going up and down like running back depth charts. I mean, I would be kind of shocked if they didn't add some kind of running back, whether it's through the draft or through free agency. Looking at what they ended up with this year, which was Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Chris Rodriguez, friend of the show, Austin Eckler, who's also a free agent himself. Does not seem like that's a backfield they're going to go into next year with. But who knows? So
for their sake, I hope they don't. Again, that's a hot seat for Dan Quinn too. I think they're going to be ready to make some changes.
Yeah, I just like the fantasy fit there for Ken Walker going to a Commanders offense that I think is ready to take off. But obviously the Jags offense is proven already. God, my camera keeps fucking dying because it's getting hot. I need to cool down this room.
The Pat Show.
One moment. Let me do this again because if I'm gonna make my pick, I should be on fucking camera to do it. You know what happens is the camera gets hot, and then I change the battery because the battery I put in is cooler and it temporarily is no longer as hot, but then it just gets hot again. So, fuck me, I guess.
The Pat Show. Everyone, Pat Show in the chat, please.
Fuck off.
Donations are not mandatory, but appreciated.
No, they're required. We'll ban you if you don't donate, actually.
Pat Show, too. Yeah, this is... one of these days, you've done this podcast alone multiple times. I cannot imagine for the life of me being able to hold this show myself.
Look, it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. Some of us are just handsome enough to...
I don't know if I definitely have the looks to do it, but I think I would just ramble off into nothing. Just way too often and lose my train of thought.
No
and possibly
structure.
shit my pants. Folks, Brand's back, but now I can tell the story of, with my back problems, I have been suffering from some incontinence and have shit myself 5 times in the last, 2 months. So perhaps I will shit myself on the show.
Brother.
Only one more week,
yeah.
though, until that's over. I've only got I've got about an hour and then a next week's show to shit myself on camera.
Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right,
you may say that's TMI. I don't care. You're watching my show. Fuck you.
I'll make my first pick here now.
No,
you've got Kenneth Walker to the Jaguars. I am gonna go with one move that we thought could possibly happen at the trade deadline, and we are going to free my man Breece Hall, and we are going to send him to the land of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now how
stole my spot.
Now how they afford this, I'm not exactly sure. Kind of the same thing if they were to bring in Tyreek Hill. I'm not exactly sure how they afford this. They're clearing some cap room. They've restructured Mahomes' deal. They're expected to do some more, but I think they could make it happen. And if they do, this would just add an element to their offense that they haven't had in a while. Look, for as good as the Chiefs' offense has generally been, even when they have down years, they have not had a super functional rushing attack for a little bit now. Isaiah Pacheco has not been himself. And especially from a pass-catching perspective out of the backfield, they haven't had anything in a while. I mean, I'm thinking back to Jerick McKinnon, Pat. Jerick McKinnon was the last viable pass catcher they had out of this backfield that wasn't just Kareem Hunt's chunky ass trying to catch the ball and then run 3.5 yards with it. So I'm going Breece Hall to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think for a fantasy asset especially, I mean, this bumps him into, at worst, second-round territory. So I'll go Breece Hall to the Chiefs. Oh, yeah. Oh, you muted. Oh, I wanted to hear.
That was a really loud sneeze too.
Right,
I had Rico Dowdle penciled in to go to Kansas City, so that'll be interesting. So now I'm going to have to pivot. I have to give someone to the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think this is extremely realistic. I think Rashid Shaheed is going to follow Clint Kubiak and go to Las Vegas. Just a perfect fit there as well. Obviously, he's not going to be your alpha guy, but you've already got Trey Tucker, who's a gizmo guy. Maybe get an outside wide receiver, and this gives Fernando a guy to just chuck the fucking ball, and also one of the best kick and punt returners in the league. It just only feels right that he just continues to follow Kubiak.
I agree with you. Yeah, I was thinking about making that fit myself, and then I went to the Raiders depth chart, and I was like, yeah, they need they need fucking something here, because I don't know that a full season of Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, and Dante Thornton is really gonna cut it here. So yeah, Rashid Shaheed.
You take that back.
I love that fit. All right, I'm gonna go with a fun one here, just to keep things spicy. We've obviously got a lot of high-end free agents that we have not assigned yet. George Pickens, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans. I am going to go with a receiver, but it's none of those three. I'm going Alec Pierce to the San Francisco 49ers.
That's hot.
The San Francisco 49ers have Brandon Ayuk, who needs to be in a mental institution.
Nothing wrong with that.
And Jawan Jennings, who needs to stop thinking he's worth $20 million a year. Jawan Jennings is a good player. He's good for a passing touchdown in the playoffs every year, pretty much. But he is not as good of a pure wide receiver as Alec Pierce. So I'm sending Alec Pierce to San Francisco. This is, to me, one of the only spots that we could send him to where, not one of the only, but one of the best spots we could send him to where he would feel like a really bankable fantasy asset going forward. I think he would really shine in that offense. So I'll go Alec Pierce to San Fran.
All right. No, that would be awesome. And kind of going from San Fran, you mentioned Juwan Jennings.
I did.
Let's bring him and reunite him with his old offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, on the Los Angeles Chargers. Certainly Ladd is there, and Aronde Gadsden looked awesome, but Keenan Allen's a free agent. He's old as shit. You never know if you're going to be able to rely on Quentin Johnston. Chargers have the third most cap space. So if Juwan Jennings someone really is going to blow their load on Juwan Jennings, which I think someone mistakenly will, I think the Chargers have the money and the means to do it.
That would really throw some cold water on the Ladd McConkey bounce back season agenda, because I want him to get back to like wide receiver.
Ladd wasn't that bad at the end of the year anyway. He wasn't.
Weeks at the end of the year. He wasn't. But like assuming Keenan
Allen,
he was
going as a 2-3 turn though, so that's
exactly. Assuming Keenan Allen hangs it up, I mean, I'd be willing to jump back on the Ladd like wide receiver 1-ish at least ceiling train. But if they bring in a guy like Juwan Jennings, that definitely complicates it to a point where I don't know that I'm comfortable doing that anymore. Okay, Juwan Jennings to the Chargers. I am going to steal the Saints running back slot. I mean, granted, you had Kenneth Walker going there, right?
I had him going to the Jaguars.
Not Kenneth Walker. You had Breece Hall going to the. Was that the Saints? Is that what I stole?
No, I had.
What did I steal? Who did you have going to the Saints?
The Chiefs. I had Dowdle going to the Chiefs.
You had Dowdle going to the Chiefs.
No one's used the Chiefs yet, so it's all yours.
That's what it was. No, I've used the Chiefs. I sent Breece Hall to the Chiefs. So where I got confused was the Rico Dowdle situation, because I have Rico Dowdle to the Saints. So that's what I'm going to pick here.
That'd be fun.
Rico Dowdle to the Saints, get him to a place where he can get the bulk of the touches. He was clearly outwardly frustrated with getting a split workload with Chuba Hubbard down the stretch after, having back-to-back 200-yard games in the middle of the season. I don't really know how you can feasibly take that guy and reduce his role when he's shown you that level of ceiling and production. So I'm going to go Rico Dowdle to the Saints. Saints are in ascending offense. You and I are both very high on the Kellen Moore, Tyler Shuck, Chris Olave core.
Sky high on those guys.
Of the Saints. So let's get a running back in there that can also benefit from the fact that they should be in scoring spots a lot more often next year than they were in the last several years. I mean, they started getting there toward the end of last year, but, if they're going to be ascending, they should have a running back that can be a part of that, and I'm going with Rico Dowdle, who, they've gotten to see up close and personal in that division.
Okay. This is really, I'd like to give a tight end somewhere.
Okay.
And I was actually very surprised by the level of talent at tight end here. We've got, Kyle Pitts will likely stay in Atlanta, but you've got Cade Otton, Isaiah Likely, Kelsey will probably stay where he is. Njoku, Goddard, our boy Chigakonkwo, Noah Fant. There's actually some really solid tight end talent out there. But I just don't know where to put any of them.
Yeah.
Because you look at a team like the Bengals, they don't use tight ends. Mm-hmm. Seattle maybe could use a benefit, but they seem to really like A.J. Barner.
I like Barner
there
too.
At the end of the year.
Leave Barner alone. Let him cook.
That's what I mean. I truly believe that they are willing to move forward with A.J. Barner as the guy.
Pull up my tight end depth charts and see who needs one.
I'm thinking like maybe the Rams or the Dolphins or the fuck it.
How about the Texans and we can send Dalton Schultz to fucking Jupiter? Fuck him.
How about we go with the team with the most cap space, the Tennessee Titans, and have them turn Isaiah Likely into a full-blown tight end 1 year.
Replacing Chigakonkwo with Isaiah Likely. He ain't do nothing but step back. No, I mean, look, if Likely is that guy, that could be fun. Part of me would just rather Chigakonkwo stay there and see what he can do with an offense that is not totally fucking ass. But I would just mainly
like to see Likely. I would likely to see Likely somewhere
I
else.
like.
I'm trying to think, I guess, you know me, huge Mason Taylor guy. So the Jets may not need one. The Panthers, honestly,
are an
might not be a bad spot. The Eagles, if they move on from Dallas Goedert, things like that. Like, there are spots open here.
Broncos would be interesting if Ingram wasn't still under contract, because he blows. He's not good.
Yeah, he didn't do. I really expected a lot from him. It didn't happen.
So no, I think that's an interesting fit though. I'm not opposed to Mr. Likely to the Titans. All right,
back to you.
Back to me. Let's get some of these guys, some of these big names off the board here. I'm sending George Pickens to the Patriots. Tell me that wouldn't be utterly. Tell me that wouldn't be diabolical for fantasy purposes to have a guy like George Pickens for Drake May to primarily lock onto, especially since according to the Super Bowl, Drake May just stares down his fucking receivers and doesn't actually read the field, which isn't true. But that is what, they kind of were hinting at. Drake May was giving things away in the Super Bowl. If you're going to stare anyone down, George Pickens is a great guy to stare down. So let's get him an actual alpha receiver. Let's do the whole, ironically, he already has Stephon Diggs, but when Josh Allen got Stephon Diggs and it, really elevated his game and turned him into that elite quarterback, again, as if Drake May wasn't already an MVP candidate. But let's get that step forward nonetheless. So let's go with George Pickens to the Patriots. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with George Pickens, really. I think the situation's going to get fucking messy real quick. But for idealistic purposes, give me Pickens to the Pats.
Okay. This is really difficult here because, a lot of these running back spots, I'd like to give the Carolina Panthers a running back. But they've clearly shown their boner for Chuba Hubbard and your boy, Jonathan Brooks. Could also be coming
He's lurking. He's lurking.
I know 2 years ago, I wasn't as much anti-Brooks. I was very pro-Hubbard, but I'm not out on the guy. I never disliked the guy. But, God, because we've got some running backs here, we haven't given Etienne a home, Dobbins, Algier.
I'd rather Etienne stay homeless. I don't like him. He's good.
I'd like to put
but I don't like him.
I'd like to put Tyler Algier in a spot where he can be more of the guy. That would be really fun to watch.
I floated around some Algier landing spots, and then I landed on just not picking him to go anywhere. But
here, maybe the Steelers or the Panthers or something like that, or the Broncos to go with. I think if the Broncos don't,
they only have Woody Marks. I mean, I think a power compliment.
Woody is solid.
Woody's
also
good, but
if Denver doesn't go for J.K. Dobbins back and they want to pair somebody, because I still don't know if the guy whose name I can't think of right now, don't you dare tell me. It's not Caleb Johnson. It's tell me.
Kenny Gainwell?
No, on the Broncos.
On the Broncos? RJ Harvey?
Thank you. God, why could I not remember that guy's name? I still don't know if they're going to be ready to hand him the full keys, so maybe they would be a decent spot. Fuck. I'd also maybe like to put Charlie Kirk somewhere.
Charlie Kirk?
Yes. I'm aware of what I said. Yes, I am.
Okay. Here, I'll play this while you think of your...
Can you imagine driving down the Kirk way, just hammered? Fuck. Christian Kirk to the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, wow. Christian Kirk to the Dolphins. All right. I mean...
Just a real shot in the neck for that team right there. Okay. I think this is what you meant when I said something. When I said something heinous, and then you zoom into yourself.
Yeah,
is that kind of what you meant?
I was telling Pat, when we're in person, we'll have the capability of just one of us going full cam to react when one of us says something egregious, as Pat just did.
I think I'm. And I was like, name one time I've ever done that.
Yeah. Crossing the line, fucking swan diving over the line. All right, Christian Kirk to the Dolphins. One pick left here. Neither of us have given Mike Evans a home. I'm going to send him to the most obvious place possible other than Tampa Bay, which is the Buffalo Bills.
See, I was just going to I didn't pick him because I was going to keep him in Tampa. That's kind of boring.
No, that's fair. That's fair, but I feel like that's almost not an ideal fit anymore. I feel like I would rather, fantasy-wise, have him with Josh Allen as his only receiver than be in Tampa with... Emeka Godwin. Uncertain offensive situation there. Who is their OC again? Who the fuck did they end up going with?
Pete Carmichael? Or the Bucks?
The Bucks, yeah.
Zach Robinson,
yes. So that's one that it's it could go either way. I'll go with Mike Evans to the Buffalo Bills. All right, that'll do it here with our free agent draft. Pat's got Kenneth Walker to the Jags, Rashid Shaheed to the Raiders, Juwan Jennings to the Chargers, Isaiah Likely to the Titans, and Christian Kirk to the Dolphins. I've got Breece Hall to the Chiefs, Alec Pierce to the Niners, Rico Dowdle to the Saints, George Pickens to the Patriots, and Mike Evans to the Bills. Obviously, plenty of other free agents. We're not going to talk about all of them, but Quarterback-wise, Daniel Jones, we expect him to probably land back with the Colts here. Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins may or may not be starters next year. If they are, could upgrade a situation like the Minnesota Vikings, but overall, we're not expecting a ton from them. Malik Willis, obviously the big fish, and then you've got Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, and Justin Fields as trade candidates. Running backs,
almost certainly going to be traded.
Yeah. Running backs,
Or
you've got
not be
Travis
there.
Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, Gainwell, Austin Eckler, Rashad White, Tyler Algier, Isaiah Pacheco, wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, Wandale Robinson. One of my sneaky picks that I didn't end up doing was Wandale Robinson to the Broncos, just so they could have a fucking sure-handed receiver for the first time in their life. Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown, Diami Brown, tight end, Kate Otten, Travis Kelce, probably back with the Chiefs or retiring. David Njoku, Dallas Goedert, Chigga Conquo, Jason Hill, Noah Fant. Then tackles, interior linemen like Tyler Linderbaum, Braden Smith, got some decent linemen available, including the entire Browns offensive line. Fun fact, just their entire offensive line.
Usually
is
been
free
pretty
agents.
good as well.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. All right, quarterback predictions. Let's predict some quarterbacks here. What are these teams going to be doing at the quarterback spot to start the year, Pat? Starting with the
I just went
Arizona-
alphabetical order. I went
That's fine.
alphabetical order here, so
That's
that'll
fine.
be
Arizona.
You want to go or you want me to shoot?
I can go first. I have the Cardinals with Malik Willis.
Okay.
Malik Willis has been linked to a couple different places. Obviously, the Dolphins, chief among them. But I like the Cardinals as a fit for him just because they have... I think they're a little bit more fit to support him at this point. Look, the Dolphins have Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, solid weapons. But I think the Cardinals with just Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, whatever Marvin Harrison Jr. is capable of offering. A guy like Mike LaFleur leading the way is kind of what swayed me a little as well. I don't know how much I believe in Jeff Hafley just yet. So I'm going to go with Malik Willis to the Cardinals. Monty Ossenfort, their GM, was the director of player personnel when the Titans drafted Malik Willis. Whether that means he likes him or not, I don't know, because he kind of failed for them. But, he could also realize that his organization failed Malik, which is probably closer to the reality. So I'll go with him.
I think in a Mike LaFleur offense, if he's kind of going off of the McVay, Shanahan kind of thing, I think someone like Tua would fit. Like, if that's where Tua's going to wind up, I think it would be Arizona.
Gross.
It is kind of gross. But if you're sort of more looking for a kind of a commander of an offense rather than a difference maker, which is something that I'm sure LaFleur could do, being in a McVay, and like I said, McVay, Shanahan style offense, McDaniel style offense. I'll go Tua there. But again, I just peed a little bit when I said that, so.
You pee a little bit every show. The Atlanta Falcons.
I put them there just because some people seem to not believe in Michael Penix, as well as the injury. I see no reason why they don't move forward with him.
Yeah, I just think it's a lack of other options right now. That, like, why would you go off of a... Oh, there goes my camera again. Why would you go off of...
Pat Show!
Why would you go off a guy like Michael Penix Jr. when, it's not like there's some great asset out there that you feel like you're giving up? Now, unless maybe the Falcons fall in love with, fucking Malik Willis or something. I don't know, but it seems unlikely. Therefore, I am also going to just assume they stick with Michael Penix. Although I wouldn't be shocked if they bring in maybe I don't know, draft somebody in the mid rounds to light a little bit of fire, a little bit of a spark under Penis's butt here. So you never know.
God damn it.
Cleveland Browns.
This one's disgusting.
It is disgusting. Cleveland Browns quarterback situation has been disgusting for the better part of 25 years. So 30 actually. Other than when they had Baker.
I may say something horrendous here.
Oh, no. Don't do it.
Because at the end of the day, we are predicting things. We aren't saying what we want to happen.
Oh, no. Mr. Touchy-feely's coming out to play.
I think it's going to be Deshaun Watson.
Oh, no.
I really do. I just think that in this purgatory they're in, I feel like starting anyone that they currently have on hand, whether it be Shador or Dylan Gabriel, I don't see that as much of a difference as throwing out your serial groper who's making so much money on a team that is in such purgatory, with Todd Monken already ready to go be the Giants' offensive coordinator in 2027.
I think that's Valid. Yeah,
I hate it. I hate it.
I mean,
Alex says in the chat, I think they'll wait until 2027 to fix their QB room. Exactly. I agree. And I think if Watson is healthy for what they're paying him, I think they're going to give him the first go. I really do. I hate it. Fuck the guy. But
I'm going to go a little off the wall here with my prediction for them. I mean, it's not
as opposed to me who didn't.
I think you went with like a very unsurprising pick, truthfully. If the Browns did that, it would be ass, but I wouldn't be shocked. I'm going to go with Tyler Huntley, Pat. Tyler Huntley has had a stint with the Browns
Pro Bowl
briefly. Obviously has history with Todd Monken and is a free agent and I think is probably better than Deshaun Watson. Look, whoever the Browns start at quarterback
I think he is too. Don't get me wrong.
No, yeah, I know. Whoever the Browns start at quarterback this year is going to be bad. And I don't think Tyler Huntley's great. But I think if there's anybody maybe willing to give him a starting job for 1 year while they figure out whatever the fuck their long-term answer is, maybe it's the guy that coached him for a little bit. So I'll go with Tyler Huntley here. Why not?
Okay, that's fair.
Spice it up a little, you know?
Texans, do you see any change for the Texans?
No, I mean, one of their writers said he would streak naked down one of the streets in Houston if they traded C.J. Stroud. So no, it's
I just think
Stroud
he had
for at least another year.
I just think he had a really bad run there at the end of the year. You know, hopefully the offseason to get him right. I still don't think there's a reason to close, even close to a reason, to be honest with you, to close the door on someone like that.
I agree. The Indianapolis Colts.
I mean, is Daniel Jones going to play week 1?
It's not confirmed one way or the other.
That's what I
I've
mean.
seen.
So they're bringing back Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is now, do they roll with Riley Leonard and say like, hey, Riley Leonard's our starter week 1? I personally don't believe so.
I bet the Joe Flacco retirement tour continues and runs it back in Indy for a couple games. That's what I would say, because I don't see Joe Flacco getting a full-time starting job, and he does not seem to want to retire. So I'm going to go with Joe Flacco for week 1.
And what about
overall?
What about someone like Andy Dalton or a reunion with Jacoby Brissett? But I do think at the end of the day, they're bringing back Daniel Jones with the thought of him being their starting quarterback once he's healthy. So at the end, I'm picking Daniel Jones.
I agree. I mean, I think he's their actual quarterback. I think week 1 it might be Joe Flacco, but I feel you there. So we'll go with Daniel Jones there for all intents.
I put this next one here so I can just jork it while we talk about it.
The Las Vegas Raiders. Pat, who do you think is going to be their starting quarterback?
Is it going to work this time? Why the fuck didn't it work now? Yay! Fuck. It's our sweet, glorious King Fernando. No question about it. I'm extremely, even had they not hired Kubiak, I'm just extremely optimistic about this kid. And I think with Kubiak, and then they've got a ton of money. You know, they're not going to be good this year. Don't get me wrong. But I think we'll see a better team. You know, build the offensive line, get some weapons. They've got a bunch of draft picks. I still think they should, as much as I love Maxx Crosby, they should trade him. But Fernando is in a good spot here, and I am very, very happy.
I think they should trade the pick and trade for Mac Jones. Mac Jones is my pick for the Raiders starting quarterback next year.
Sick, bro. Cool.
It's Mac Jones.
Cool.
Mac Jones.
Cool.
I'm going with Mac
cool.
Jones.
I wrote in Fernando.
You
All right,
can't stop me. It's
Dolphins.
Mac-
So I figured that Malik Willis would be like kind of a shoe-in here with his relationship with Halfley and the Packers. So he's my pick. But you've already given him to the Falcons, to the Cardinals.
I have backed myself into a situation here of which I am not overly fond of. Give me... Fuck.
I'll give you a fuck, all right.
The Dolphins are ass. I think they're going to have to suffer a year of being ass. Give me... Justin Fields. They trade some pennies for Justin Fields. They suffer, and then they draft a quarterback next year. That is what the Dolphins do.
No, I could see that. If they don't go with someone like Willis, I think they don't try to necessarily fix it right away.
I mean, they could just start Ewers, honestly. I wouldn't be shocked if they just said, hey, we're starting
I'm sure
Ewers,
he'll
and maybe
compete.
he's okay. Yeah.
All right. Now, this one, to me, we've got 3 left. The other 2 I have completely
on the
locked
Minnesota Vikings.
in. The Minnesota Vikings. Is your answer J.J. McCarthy? Oh, I'm getting a phone call. You talk.
No, my answer is not J.J. McCarthy. I think they need to give the fuck up on J.J. Pat's getting a call from his sources on who is going to be the Vikings starting quarterback next year. Vikings, I am going to say reunion time, and I'm going with Kirk Cousins. I think the Vikings are in a just massive state of regret right now that they've let Sam Darnold walk out that building, watching him win a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks, and knowing that they have what is probably just a complete and total pumpkin at the quarterback position in the form of 9. Is that the face he made? Close enough. So I think that they're going to want to bring in somebody that's just is going to make Justin Jefferson not want to throw himself off a bridge next season, and I think Kirk Cousins is up to that task. So I'll go with Kirk. JJ, yeah, I think we're kind of just cooked on the JJ McCarthy experiment. I think the experiment is over, and it has yielded results less favorable than Chernobyl. So yeah, let's get Kirk back in Minnesota. Let's make his family happy, Let's make Justin Jefferson happy. Let's make Jordan Addison happy when he's not falling asleep at the wheel in the middle of the road. And yeah, I'm trying to think of if there would. Okay, I was gonna say I'm trying.
And
to
I
think
muted
of
you
any
the
other
whole
options,
time,
but
so I have no fucking idea what you said. Who did you?
I said Kirk Cousins.
I thought about it. I thought about that as well.
Kirk Cousins stopgap. That was my answer. You going with JJ? Running it back with 9?
No, I think that even if the
Spicy.
49ers say they're not going to trade Mac Jones, I think the Vikings may overwhelm them.
I think the Raiders.
And again,
might
Kevin
overwhelm them.
O'Connell, if we're looking for more of the commander quarterback, Mac Jones has proven that he can do that. And, unless the 49ers are so concerned about Brock Purdy's phantom injuries that seem to pop up every year, I think they're not going to be able to resist trading their backup quarterback. And I also now have an allergy shot appointment at 1:45 today.
Oh, I need that as well. I've been taking an allergy med though, which has helped quite a bit. All right, the New York Jets, the New Jersey Jets. Nothing to me screams Jets more than getting a quarterback who has more name value than actual value at this point.
So you're taking Kyler as well?
I'm going with Kyler Murray for the New
Yep,
York
that was
Jets.
my choice as well. Yep.
Trading for Kyler screams Jets and screams this isn't going to fucking work. I will say would make Garrett Wilson a little more intriguing next year, finally. I mean, I guess
I don't think Kyler would be completely devoid of value.
No, I don't.
I think he'd be more of a streamer type guy, but I think Tyler, Jesus Christ, I think Kyler is good enough to warrant another opportunity somewhere else. I don't believe he should go and be a backup, or he could go play center field for the Mississippi Mudcats or whatever the A's AA franchise is. But I'll go Kyler there, and then
the Pittsburgh
round it out.
Steelers.
I finally think that Aaron Rodgers is going to say, "Hey, I am playing one more year." He's going to straight up say, not do this bullshit like he's done every year. I think he's going to straight up say, "I'm playing one more year." He seems to love being in Pittsburgh, and it seems like he would only play for 2 coaches, Mike Tomlin or Mike McCarthy. I feel like it's kind of the perfect storybook ending to this team for his career. I don't see them being able to find the long-term solution anyway. Maybe next year with Dante Moore from Oregon. There's going to be a lot of good quarterbacks next year. So I think they kind of hold firm and hang on to Rodgers one more time.
I think that's fair. I think I'll probably go the same way with you, Aaron Rodgers here. Somebody in the chat's asking, what about Ty Simpson? Ty Simpson's an interesting one. He could go either way as far as a week 1 starter is concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a mid-second rounder and was not. Certainly possible.
I think he's
for
the kind of
the
guy.
Dolphins.
I was going to say, I think he's the kind of guy that a team will jump in the last 10 picks of the first round and take perhaps the Jets.
I mean, he could also, the Steelers could go after him. It's just,
well, that's what I mean. I feel like though,
Rodgers.
because the 2027 QB class, isn't it like loaded?
Well, there was a bunch of guys that were supposed to be in this one, and then
That's what
Trinidad
I'm
Chambers
saying.
was
So, like,
actually no, and Dante Moore was
Yeah,
actually no.
Julian
and then
Sayin, Dante Moore, Arch
whatever
Manning.
Arch Manning's supposed to be.
Trinidad Chambliss should eventually come out of college.
He'll be 35 when he gets drafted, but yeah, eventually.
So, like, if teams are kind of saying, hey, next year's the year, let's not really do anything about it.
Yeah.
And may go more of a stopgap. That team may not want to go after Ty Simpson unless they believe he's nothing more than a stopgap backup kind of guy.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, that'll do it for our quarterback predictions, and I think that'll about do it for our show today. We're going to answer some viewer questions here for those of you tuning in live, and if you're not tuning in live, tune in live eventually, one of these days, every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern on the Benchwarmer Brand YouTube channel. Again, the podcast is going to continue undergoing just some facelift, some face work here as I improve the viewing experience for all of you, hopefully adding some more frills. I honestly just got tired of realizing that we would sit there talking for like an hour and a half and there would be nothing except us talking. Not that us talking isn't wonderful, but
we're not just so fucking sexy.
I've been in this game long enough to know you got to have some extra frills if you're going to stand out and have people be truly interested and engaged. And that's how you make a good show. You don't just sit there and yap to a camera and a microphone forever. You need some extra stuff. And now we have the capability of adding some extra stuff. I had an outro song. Oh wait, I do know where it is. Hold on,
You should just pay Dark-Sided.
No. It's a great outro song that I can play. All right, but yeah, that'll do it for this episode of Brand Coverage, folks. We appreciate you. Let's play the song. There we go. Oh, that's so loud. Oh, it's so loud. It's so awesome.
I have no idea what song it is.
For Pat Gustafson, I'm Brandon Carney, and we'll see you next time.
I shit myself. Bye-bye.
All right, now we're answering questions. That's our outro song. It's really loud. I need to turn it down next time and have it.
I'm waiting for it.
But it's it's pretty good.
Well,
okay.
I dig that.
It's the actual song, but it's the back end of it. It's our intro
different
song,
part of it. Yeah.
Part of it. Okay, now, how do I find our donations? Is the question here. I'm gonna do it somehow. Nope, that's not it. I know. Ultimately, I have a fail-safe for this that I can just go to. Let's see, live chat, top chat. Does that do it? Top fans? No.
OnlyFans?
What if I do? If I click on a message, does it pop up? No, it sure doesn't. What if I?
Excuse me while I just lean back in my recliner like a fat waste of life that I am.
Lean back.
Oh.
Okay, so clicking on it doesn't really do anything. Okay, that's okay. I will go to the failsafe and find our donation questions. Not StreamYard. Fuck.
Testing the speaker on StreamYard. Looks like it's working.
Let's see. Recent events.
Oh my god! Don't get old, kids. Don't get old.
All right, is there a way
that
to
C sharp on the alto sax load AF T? I didn't know you loud AF. I didn't know you knew ball like that.
All right. I think this is our first donation. Hot Rod with $4.99 said, first time watching live stream, but I love your content, Brandon. I've been watching your content since 2022. You do awesome stuff. Keep it up. Hey, thank you, Hot Rod. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Hot Rod.
Pat appreciates you too. Kasekage 1588 with $2 said, as a Broncos fan, I just want a true number one wide receiver. Yeah, I don't blame you. Cortland Sutton's kind of a bitch.
Sutton's good, but he's not like good.
Yeah. He has drops in key moments that you don't like to see, and he's not going to win a game. He has
chemo.
He does not have chemo, as far as I'm aware.
Hopefully not. Knock on wood.
Let's see. Straight Grizzly with $1.99 said, what's your take on the new kickoffs this year? Are you talking about from this past season? If so, I mean, I like the changes that they've made. Are there more changes coming that I'm unaware of?
Yeah, see, I haven't heard about this. If this was the past years, I am fine with it. I don't care. I'm also a proponent of putting the ball at the 25-yard line and saying go. If they really are that concerned about the safety of kickoffs, so it doesn't bother me one way or another.
You wanna capitally punish the kickoff. How dare you? That's an important component of our game. You cannot just get rid of it like that unless you hate America. But I guess you might hate America. Adam Shockley with 199 said, pretty sure J Love isn't interested in the Packers wide receivers. I mean, that's one way to put it. I'm not interested in the Packers wide. I guess, yeah, you probably said that in response to me saying I wasn't interested.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft is the only guy he's interested in. And Romeo Dobbs. Come on. What do you mean not interested?
Romeo Dobbs
live together.
They bathe
together.
I think Romeo Dobbs is leaving.
Together.
Every indication
They're
is he's
conjoined
leaving.
together.
Jordan Love's going to have to go to Miami or something then because I think Dobbs is out.
They share a big-ass helmet.
No, that helmet is just big enough for Romeo
That
Dobbs
helmet
and
is
his
hysterical.
large cranium. He looks like fucking the great Gazoo or whatever that fucking character
I
was.
want them
Futurama.
to like find a better design for these Guardian caps because obviously they are, they're effective. I appreciate that. I respect that. But Dobbs has to keep wearing this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Everyone else,
any advancements
they're
they make,
obviously
can
gonna
go to everyone
advance it
else.
to make it look a little more normal. But no. I want Dobbs wearing the same goofy fucking helmet for the rest of my life.
I agree. And Knight the Might with $5 said, my least favorite thing is this quarterback class next year is loaded. So much can happen in that season. Any thoughts on the NBA All-Stars and the drama? Okay, two different questions there. No, I agree with you in your sentiment of the quarterback class because people felt that way last year coming into this prior year, and it ended up not being the case because Arch Manning wasn't good. And shit like that just happens, and that tanks a quarterback class on its own.
Millions of dollars in NIL money as well. That's why the only reason why Dante Moore is going back.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you. I mean, it's not necessary. It looks like it could be good. How about that? And then any thoughts on the NBA All-Stars and the drama? I mean, the NBA, from what I didn't watch it. From what I understand, the All-Star game was actually good.
I loved it.
The dunk contest was hot dog ass and needs to be put down out the pasture. But
they needed Andre Jackson back in it. That was the problem.
He was so bad. I was so disappointed when
he had a crazy putback dunk last week where like he came from out of the frame and just absolutely yammed it on a putback.
Some guys just can't do the tricks, I guess. They just.
But I don't know what the drama is. I guess is that Luka and Jokic just didn't want to play. Like that they didn't play because they just didn't want to, or is it the whole Kevin Durant burner thing? But I've actually gotten significantly back. I threatened to get back into the NBA going into the season, and I've really done a good job. I'm fully back in.
All right, I think that does it for our donation questions.
What about the one who ass lick? Who said something funny before the show started?
Oh, I addressed that before the show. Where was it? I don't know that it's yeah, I don't know why that one's not showing up. That's a good point.
Maybe because it was before the show, I guess. I don't know.
Could be, but it wasn't really because I was streaming already. I'm looking in my recent events tab on Streamlabs. Hold on.
God, I am hungry.
Curious. I will hash this out eventually and figure it out. All right, we'll answer some questions from the general chat before we go. So if you guys have any, feel free to pop them in. No donations required. Somebody said, where is it? Someone asked why he hates Chambliss so much, but apparently Tyler Shuck, no big deal. Because Tyler Shuck didn't file an injunction to allow his 25-year-old ass to keep playing college football. I don't think Tyler Shuck doing it was overly justifiable either. I don't think anybody should be able to be in college for 7 or 8 years. But the difference is Tyler Shuck was also never a high-end quarterback prospect until his last year where he was able to finally get drafted. Chambliss was a pretty much guaranteed top 3 quarterback selection. Whether that meant first round or second round, I don't know. But it's one of those things where it's like, brother, just fucking go pro already. It's just absurd.
I believe it's one of those things where it's just that Chambliss has more upside. And it's funny to say because Shuck had a very nice year. He had a very nice year when he played. But I think it's just the fact that Chambliss could be in the NFL and it just seems like he doesn't want to go.
Yeah,
but he wants
it's
to
just
stay in
silly.
college.
And at the end of the day, it's not actually that serious. I don't actually care what he does. I'm just going to make fun of a guy who is going through such heavy efforts to avoid playing in the NFL.
Now, has he had a lot of injuries as well?
I don't think so. I mean, no, he's definitely been injured at least once, but he was
Because like Shuck played along, because Shuck had like major injuries.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's been
maybe
hurt,
that's the difference.
but I don't think injuries are like the main part of the story with him. I could be mistaken, but he played D2, which messes up the eligibility as well. Let me see, Trinidad Chambers, Ferris State, Ferris. So he was at Ferris
started
State
at
from
Ferris State.
He was at Ferris State until this past year.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah, he was at Ferris State
shit.
from 2021 to 2024, and then
played
at
Good
Ole
for him.
Miss
I did not know that.
in 25. So he was totally off the radar. So yeah, I mean, he was basically just all at D2. So yeah, whatever. Hey, look, redshirted in 21 and 22 at Ferris State. So he's played 23, 24, 25. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not about how many seasons he's played. It's about he's gonna be 24 at the start of the year. Go pro, dude. Just go.
I found a question I like here too now.
Yeah.
Who from Bailey Reichert, longtime listener, who's got the potential to be better head coach? Sporkle Quiz legend, Mannion, Blau, or Webb? I think it's Davis Webb easily. I could see Blau getting there at some point as well. Mannion, like I said, I'm hesitant, but I mean, Davis Webb was almost a head coach this year. And assuming Denver's good again next year, he will almost certainly be one 2027.
Yeah, I'll go a little bold and say Sean Mannion. Fuck it, why not? I mean, he's risen up the ranks with the Packers. He was essentially, he's essentially had coaching experience for the last 6 years, because as a player, he wasn't really playing. Like, he was just clipboard boy, just out there for moral support. And that includes a large amount of his time with the Rams as well from 2015 to 2018. I mean, he has 110 career passing attempts. So we're talking about a guy who's essentially been a version of a coach for a while. I like him. I like the potential, and I'm excited to see what he can do here in Philadelphia. I'm leaning toward really believing in Philly's offense heavily to turn it around here. We'll just see if it's with A.J. Brown or without A.J. Brown. Alex said, who is the NFL's equivalent of the Tungsten Armo Doyle tweet? Stars who have always produced and always will, but their team always gets smoked. Josh Allen.
Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I would say, here's the thing. Herbert isn't always statistically awesome. Sometimes he does.
I'd say more Burrow. They made a Super Bowl, but still.
Yeah, I think Burrow gets hurt a lot, though, too. I would almost say it's Josh Allen, because it's like Josh Allen. Josh Allen broke every record this year and is doing things the quarterback position has never seen, and still didn't make the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, because it's just what he does. If you're looking for numbers on a team that was Los Angeles Angels level bad when they had Ohtani and Trout, because that's where the tweet originated. What teams are bad that have guys putting up big numbers? I guess
Maxx Crosby,
Bijan with the Falcons,
Brock Bowers,
Myles Garrett. It's Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's the answer.
Oh, you're so right.
Myles
Literally
Garrett's
possibly
the
the best defender of the 20th century.
And is on the Browns.
21st
He said his
century,
next goal was to win Super Bowl MVP. Who's going to tell him?
Tungsten Armo. I don't know if I'm sure we got some immaculate grid players in here. That's been kind of what I've been up to lately. Is just finding these fucking ridiculous names. There was a Negro League player just named Face.
Yeah.
He played one game.
Yeah.
I used him on the grid. It was awesome. Just Face.
Daniel, who asked about Chambliss earlier, and who I'm going to start locker boxing with if this goes on any longer, said,
he's Joey Fag.
UConn's starting quarterback this year was playing college ball since 2019, Brand. Should he go pro too? A, he is going pro this year. B, his draft stock was never top 3 quarterback in the class, motherfucker. Why do you think I want Chambliss to leave? God.
And he didn't file an injunction.
Apples to oranges ass comparison, my brother.
Wait,
no,
who's their new
thing.
guy? Who's UConn's new guy? I saw a good isn't Jerk for Merck or something?
Jake, yeah, it's like Jake Merkinger or something.
Jake Merkler. So apparently at Tennessee, his hashtag was Jerk for Merck. So I'm very excited to jerk for Merck.
I'm ready to jerk for Merck all year. I hope he's our starter. I assume he will be. But
coming from Tennessee. From Milo Dombrowski, how far will Michigan basketball realistically make it to the tournament? College basketball has been phenomenal this year. All of these teams at the top are really fucking good.
And there's
there
really
is
no
not-
separation.
And they're all beating up on each other, it seems now, especially like the Big 12 having Kansas, Houston, and Arizona just beating the shit out of each other on a regular basis. It's been awesome. I mean, Michigan, I think, has about as good of a chance as anybody right now, even though the Duke just beat them.
I think Michigan, if the tournament started today, would probably be my national championship pick. Pat, I'm also getting, this isn't necessarily breaking news, but somebody has texted me and alerted me of this. Apparently on Tuesday, currently, I mean, we're a week out, but we're currently projected to get 15 to 19 inches of snow on Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm going to kill myself.
I might just go to the hospital that night and stay over.
This is getting fucking ridiculous.
I saw some snow on Sunday, and so maybe we won't be together again for a little while.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess, because I mean, even if that goes down to like 6 inches, that 6 inches is way too many, way too much. So that would prevent. Us
Yeah,
from getting
it's gonna
as well.
snow mostly through that. God, I'm gonna have to. I have to go to Hartford. Like I have to. They're not rescheduled unless that hospital like collapses to the ground. This surgery is not getting scheduled another minute.
You're getting airlifted there, so get ready.
I'll get fucking airlifted there. It seems like it's gonna stop at like 5 a.m. Get the fucking plows and fix me. How fat I am. Fix me.
All right. I think that's a good way to end the show here, folks. Thank you once again for tuning in.
Also, wait. Hang on. I have beef with a certain Bran family member that needs to be mentioned right now. Yesterday on our local page, Southington Talks, I'm from Southington, Connecticut, so is Bran. He doesn't live there anymore. And Bran's mom is an admin. So people are asking, like, how are the roads? Is so-and-so open? So I asked if Club Hollywood, the local strip club, was open, and she turned off the comments. I do give her respect because she didn't delete the post straight up, so I was still able to get 88 reactions to it. Mm-hmm. A very popular post. But those comments could have been electric, Tam. I just wanted to know if Club Hollywood was open. And she comments, she said, Patrick, you know I'm in here, right? I'm like, in where? The strip club? The Facebook group?
The Facebook
But yeah, so even though Bran's mom was the one, I was going to like cause a further beef, but I didn't want another admin to think I was actually serious and ban me. Because I've been having a lot of fun in that group lately. But yes, there is beef amongst the family, amongst the podcast here. Could cause some sexual tension between Bran and I.
Pat needs better things to do. All right, for Pat
I
Gustafson,
do need better
I'm
things
Brandon
to do. I've been
Cook.
sitting